Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Guido. I am the B2B marketing specialist here at Daytrip. So today I'm going to be walking you through who Daytrip is as a company, what services we provide, and how you can use us in Spain to make your clients' travels seamless and more interesting. Okay, so to hop into who Daytrip actually is, to put it really, really plainly, we provide private door-to-door car transfers across 130 plus countries. So today I'm going to be talking about Spain, but please know that we operate truly in 130 plus countries. So we are on 6 out of the 7 continents. We're everywhere but Antarctica, and we're able to do this because of our network of really extensive 10,000 plus vetted English-speaking drivers. And then all of our services are really customizable. I'll show you this on our platform so you can see it firsthand. But you can use our services anywhere from short to long distances, so 20 to 300-mile long trips. We do between country borders. We do city to city, door to door. So we truly work address to address, so it's as customizable as you would like. And then one of the best parts for our travel agents is the fact that we have truly 24/7 customer support. So all around the clock, your clients can always call, chat, or email our customer support team with anything they might need. So this is a really great peace of mind if you guys are sleeping in your bed and your clients are halfway around the world. Maybe they're in Spain, maybe they're in, I don't know, Japan, and they have a question about their transfer, they have a question about finding the driver, or they're having an issue that needs clarified. They can always reach out to us. And we have an office here in Prague. We have an office in Mexico. So there's always a real person ready to help you guys. So here's an overview of all of Daytrip's products. So our first and most standard product is our private car transfers. So these are standard point A to point B transfers, and this is with a private car, a private driver, who will take you from any address to any address. But the thing that truly makes Daytrip different from other transfer services is the opportunity to book transfers with sightseeing stops. So basically, it is your classic transfer with a private driver, English-speaking driver, private car. But along the way, our Daytrip service actually recommends notable and interesting stops to add along the way. So I'll show you this on our website so it makes a bit more sense. But basically, this gets your clients more experience out of their travel day without any more logistics needing to be worried about. So basically, let's imagine your clients are going from Prague to Vienna, for instance. So they have their options of taking a train or taking a bus or flying. Or they could also rent a car. So with renting a car, that's a lot of mental load, that's a lot of logistics to worry about, and a lot of stress. And then the public transit options of bus, train, and also plane, they just zoom past everything in between Prague and Vienna. So they don't get to see anything, they don't get to experience anything that they might not have known in between the two cities. But if you book a transfer with sightseeing stops with Daytrip, you can actually add on multiple stops along the way that the driver will then wait with your clients. They'll drop them off. Your clients go and get to explore at their own pace, see what they would like. So for an example, you could add a stop in Český Krumlov, which is a medieval village that I absolutely love here. So your clients will start in Prague, Czech Republic with their driver, then be driven to Český Krumlov. They might have a 2-hour stop there where they get to do what they want, stretch their legs, get some lunch maybe, and then they continue on to their final destination. So they'll arrive in their final destination feeling refreshed, feeling luxurious, and feeling like they got an experience out of a travel day. So then our third service is our hourly driver service. So this is a chauffeur by the hour. So it's truly that. It is a private driver and a private car by the hour. And this is for your clients to do as they please. So this leaves the itinerary completely up to them. So this is meant to be used within one city. So this is not a transfer service. It is not intended to be used to go from city to city. The best way to use this would be in one city or one town for your clients to get to experience whatever they would like. So, for example, we've heard of one client using our hourly driver service in Budapest, and she used it to get her haircut. So she went to a haircut appointment, then across the city, go sightsee, go get some lunch, all while having the experience and luxury of having a private driver waiting for you. So your clients don't need to worry about tiring themselves out or needing to worry about public transportation to figure out themselves. This service is also really good for like cruise port sightseeing. So if your clients just dock in a port for a couple hours, but they want to see a lot, you could book a private driver for a couple number of hours and they will get that great experience. And then our fourth service is our day trips. So these are day-long pre-planned excursions that start and end in the same city. So these are planned out all for you on our website. So I will show you examples in Spain of some of our day trips, but these are really great for your clients to get to see outside of a city and not have to worry about any of the transportation. Okay, so here's a breakdown of all of our vehicle types. So in all 130 plus countries, we have sedan, MPV, and vans. So here you can also see that our highest number of passengers in a single vehicle is 7. But I would like to say we happily accommodate group bookings. So if you have a group of 10 or 15 or 20, I even just looked at a group booking for 47 people who are coming from a cruise. We do accommodate it. If we have supply in that area, we will absolutely make it work. So it is a combination of vans or a couple vehicles. And it's really great because your clients can all stay together as a group, just in different vehicles, and go get to experience stops themselves, or just have a really nice trip for a transfer. And then on the right here, you can also see that we have a luxury service. So this is in select countries. It's really widely across Europe and in select Asian countries. And it is a private luxury sedan that can hold up to 2 people. And the driver will show up in a suite, and there will be a couple more amenities in the car. So for our travel agents, it's always really interesting for you guys to see what it actually looks like. Because right now, all of this is really hypothetical. You don't really know what it's like to book a day trip. You haven't probably done your first booking yet, or if you have, thank you, absolutely. So with our day trip step-by-step slide here, I would just love to show you what it looks like to actually use us. So the first step is to log into our travel agent portal, which I will show you how to do. And then second, to create a booking, whether it's a transfer, hourly driver, or day trip. And then third, what I really, really want to highlight is this email on this fake phone right here on the right. So it is really great to see that this is the actual email that is sent 2 to 4 days before departure. So you will receive this email, and optionally, your clients can receive this email as well. So basically, this includes an actual picture of the driver, their phone number, the make and model of their car, anything else about the car. And then it also reconfirms the departure date and time and your client's information, and also the confirmation code, which is needed if they need any help from our customer support team. But what I really, really love about this email is the fact that there's a button that says track driver. So this is really great for you to see where the driver is, see what status your client's trip is on, and for also, if you choose to send this to your clients, they can also track the driver themselves and help them see how far away, whatever the process is. So when I say optional, it is optional for you to add your client's emails. I'll show you that later in our booking process. But if you want all communication to go through you, that is all good. But if you'd like your clients to get important updates, but have no pricing or commission or discount details, you can also add their email. And then the last step in all of this is that the trip happens and our Daytrip customer support is really available 24/7. Okay, so let's hop into Spain. So I know it is summer. We are all excited for some summer vibes, and I would say that this presentation is very, very summery, so it's very fitting for the start of busy season. So here are some things that you need to know about Spain. So of course, the language is spoken there, so it is easy to assume that it is only Spanish. But in Catalonia, they speak Catalan, which is a sub-dialect of Spanish. And then also in the northern region of the Basque region, they also speak Basque, which this language is nothing like Spanish. It's nothing like anything else you'll probably ever see or hear. It is a very odd and mysterious language. People really can't track where it came from, but it is very, very central to the Basque culture and the Basque heritage, and it is really interesting to experience. There's a lot of X's and Z's in this language, super interesting to look at. And then the transportation types. So Spain is really, really large. So they have a really great train system. They have buses in between cities. Of course, you can also fly. So going from the south, going from Sevilla to Bilbao, for example, you can take intercountry flights to make it easier. And then also in big cities like Barcelona or Madrid, they have metro. But in these cities like Barcelona and Madrid, there are really, really huge concerns that I'm sure you guys have read so much about, your clients might have experienced, and you might have hesitancy about, is that there's over tourism in these big cities. So it's a really big question of, should I send my clients to Spain? So I'm sure you guys saw all of the news articles of the protests happening against tourists in Barcelona over the years. And even recently, the mayor of Barcelona came out and said, I want no cruise port basically tourists who aren't starting or ending in Barcelona. I thought this was super interesting, and it's very valid. The city is very, very overwhelmed with how many tourists is happening. So in this webinar, I'm going to be talking about places that are not in the big hubs of Madrid and Barcelona. But of course, your clients need to fly into there. This is where all the good international connections are. So when I talk about the Catalan region, I'm going to give an alternative of how to start in Barcelona and get to see more. But one of my favorite facts and one thing that helps describe one of the peculiar times of the Spanish culture. So basically, you guys probably know that in Spain, they eat dinner quite late. Everything happens quite late. People stay up quite late in the day. So geographically, Spain is genuinely within the UK and Portugal time zone. So geographically, they are an hour behind Central European time. And they always were on that time zone. So all of their habits were adjusted to that time. But during World War II, the Spanish dictator Francisco Franco, he wanted to move in solidarity with Hitler and to align with Nazi Germany. So he actually pushed all of Spain's clocks an hour forward. So they are aligned with Central Europe. But they should not actually be aligned here. So Spain, they are geographically on a different time zone than they are, but after World War II, they never changed them back. So dinner is usually eaten between 9 and 10 p.m. And historically, there was a siesta in the middle of the day. So that's like a midday nap, but I know that that's not in actuality really anymore. But everything happens quite late there, and this Spanish time historical reason is a explanation for that. So Spain has the pleasure of having such a distinct culture. So these are three facets of the Spanish culture that makes it so distinct from other places in Europe. And I feel like every time that I go to Spain, there is such a fabulous, fabulous energy there. And it's so amazing to get to experience. So first, it is a very social culture. They really prioritize family and friend gatherings. My favorite thing when I'm in Spain is to just see how many people are out and about all the time. So they really prioritize getting drinks with people, having dinner, and just really being out and about in these city plazas. So they'll always be bustling, they'll always be lively, and there's always something interesting happening, like all of these lively festivals. So one of my colleagues is Spanish, and I was talking to her about really what makes Spanish culture the most distinct and what is it that I should tell you guys. And she really said there is so much to experience in Spain. And the thing that makes it so beautiful is that there is so much contrast between these different regions. So I'm going to talk about some different regions throughout this webinar. But truly, these regional festivals are the backbone of their culture. It's how they come together to experience joy and just fun, and to celebrate, the little quirks of their regions. And then, of course, Spain, they are known for having a history of enjoyment and having a relaxed perspective on life. While there is a stereotype that everyone takes a siesta, that is incorrect. The modern day Spaniard doesn't have the luxury of taking a midday nap because of busy schedules and just everything moving along in the world. But it is true that a lot of restaurants will be closed midday. So if your clients are the classic American who maybe wants to eat dinner at 5 p.m., just warn them before they go to Spain. It's not going to happen. They will be on siesta. Or unless they're in a really, really central area in a city, there will probably be things open. But in a smaller place, definitely 5, 6 p.m. is not the time for dinner. Try 8. We can adjust a little bit to be true Spaniards on our trip. Okay, so first I'm going to be talking about Catalonia. So here is one of the classic Spanish festival activities. So this is called a castell, this human pyramid. I think that this was so unbelievably interesting to learn about. This is basically a competition of who can create the largest pyramid of people. And when I looked into it on why the history of this really happens, I couldn't find a conclusive answer. I think it's just for the joy of it. And to see who actually wins and it's completed, a small child wearing a helmet has to go up to the top, and once they raise their hand, then it is truly finished. So in Catalonia, this is the absolute best place to experience festivals. So in Barcelona, I know I said I wouldn't talk about it, but there's a couple things you got to talk about for Barcelona. So Primavera Sound is an annual music festival the first week of June. So if you have some younger clients that you're booking for who are really looking for experiential, like music-based travel, Primavera Sound sounds like a fabulous idea to go. Lots of really popular current artists headline this festival every year, and it's always the first week of June. And then there's Saint Joan. So this is the Eve of St. John celebrations. So over here, these pictures on this slide are actually all of my own personal images. So last year, I went with my best friend to Barcelona at the end of June, and we accidentally landed on the Eve of St. John, completely unbeknownst to us. What a pleasure and surprise it was. So here on the top right of this slide, you can see these like firework things looking. So these are a very traditional Catalan firework. They spin, they make a big whizzing noise, but it is truly a spectacle to see. So the Eve of St. John is one of the most lively days in the whole Catalonia region. So the evening of June 23rd and then June 24th, so genuinely just happened this week. It's unfortunate that we just missed it for this webinar, but this is really great to plan ahead for next year, to be able to plan ahead and book your accommodation and figure out what itinerary you'd like to give your clients. But it's really great in Barcelona. It's a huge street party, like literally everywhere. Everyone is playing music. They're all out having drinks. And the way that this is really classified is with beach bonfires, huge fireworks, and street parties everywhere. So it's a great time to have a Tinto de Verano, have some sangria, and experience I loved even just watching everything that was happening. I didn't partake in any of the fireworks, but it was so, so interesting. Like the way to experience the 4th of July on steroids. It was crazy. And then I would like to highlight just a couple interesting regional town festivals because truly all throughout this region, every town will have their own regional festival. It is so, so endearing. The whole town comes together. So I saw in Vals, we have the Gran Festa de Calçotada. So my pronunciations, I've already failed myself, trying my best. But basically, this Grand Fiesta Festival is of these it's basically like an onion festival, which is fabulous. So it's a green onion mixed with a leek, and they have a whole festival to celebrate this. So the whole town comes together. This is a regional delight of this town. The last Sunday in January is the big day, but they all come together. You grab your bag of supplies that you can buy there, and you get your onions, and they give you this delicious salsa, and someone grills it for you, and you all eat together. I saw even online they have an onion eating contest, which this is just some quirk that you don't experience anywhere else. Seems so interesting. And then in Sitges, in a little bit south, there is their patron saint festival. That is what a lot of these festivals will be for. So each city has a patron saint. So this is for Saint Bartholomew. And this has really big paper mache parades of these really big characters. And there's lots of those human pyramids. And there's just like a lot of things to see. And this one's a week long. So it's in the middle of August. And then I would like to highlight over here. So here's actually a picture of me in Tossa de Mar last summer. So this was also on accident. We went to Tossa de Mar for our beach holiday, and this literally means castle on the beach. It is stunning. I really, really loved it. But then we accidentally were there, happily, on their St. Peter Festival. So that is their patron saint. He is the saint of fishermen and of seafaring and everything. So this was so fabulous to experience. We literally had no idea what was happening. And we saw just everyone is going out and about, and we heard a lot of music. So me and my friend, we grabbed a bottle of wine, we had a picnic on the beach, and then we walked over to the live music that was happening. We just had a ball, and all of the locals were out, and it was just super sweet. You'll see kids dancing, there's carnivals and everything like that. So you can go get a nice dinner by the water here in Tossa de Mar, and then go walk and experience the town's festivities, and you get a more personal experience of Spain because this is what really makes them Spanish. And then a way that I would suggest to use Daytrip. So I'm going to go a little bit crazy here with our Daytrip product feature for this one. So here is our custom route form on the right. So like I said earlier, let's get your clients out of Barcelona right in the beginning. So your clients, they still want to see, the big sites in Barcelona probably. So you can use the hubs as an arrival point, not the destination. So your clients can fly into Barcelona or Madrid, and then you can use it just as their starting point and get them out through like a fund transfer. So it is really great. And a tip is to discuss what your clients really want to see in these cities. And then you can add these as stops on your transfer. So with Daytrip, we have a custom route form where you can customize a route completely to your own liking. So here you can see I made this custom route where we start in Barcelona. And then I have 2 stops. So basically your driver would pick you up anywhere in Barcelona, and then you would go through and pick your stops. So maybe my clients really, really want to see the Sagrada Familia and they want to see Park Güell. So they want to see these really big iconic state spots in Barcelona, but then later in the day, they will then continue on to go to Sitges. So you can add these on as customizable durations of these stops. So here they're each an hour and a half. And then you can book your clients tickets in advance to go to these attractions. And then your clients can see these, have all their bags accounted for with the driver waiting for them. And then they continue on and have just a really interesting transfer as a part of their whole day. So they still see something in Barcelona, but then move on to a different city. So I'd love to talk about La Rioja, which is a really great wine region in Spain. This is a little bit more in the northeast of Spain. So they have this amazing festival that looks so, so fun. It is genuinely a wine battle. So this picture in the back here is from the Battle of Wine. So this is actually held in Haro, which is a town in the region of La Rioja. So it's truly a red wine battle. And you might be thinking, this is quite odd. Why does this exist? And two, it's really excessive. This is great wine you could be drinking. So for number one, why does this exist? This has a couple disputed reasonings. There is a religious, basically like little ceremony that happens before. And then after everyone hikes up this big mountain, and then they have this wine battle for a couple hours and everyone parties in the town. But why does this exist? I was researching it and there's not a conclusive answer, but one of the reasons is that back in like the 1600s over territory disputes, they would put red wine on the ground to demarcate where their land property was. So then after that, it turned into them dyeing each other red in a fight, and then it stuck. So now it's a global thing that you can attend. And then two, this wine is actually excess wine. So this is not suitable for sale or it's like after products of wine. And then this happens in June too. So this is also happening this week, which would be great to plan for next year. So on June 29th. And then this other festival down here is in the fall, which I thought would be really great to highlight if your clients love wine. So this is the San Mateo Festival. So this is also their patron saint. It is in the capital of this region, Logroño. So this is their regional wine harvest festival. So the town all comes together. When I looked, it was very Spanish. The festival starts with a rocket being shot off in the town square, and then they have a mimicked wine fountain in the middle of the city. Just everything, there's just something to it. There's always some pizzazz. There's always something happening. And it's really interesting to hear about. So everyone comes together for grape stomping, street parties, and then this Zura Capote, this drink, it sounds like a kind of sangria, but it just sounds really delicious. It's basically like red wine mixed with some soda with some fruit, but it's like their own regional twist. And then it's a week long towards the end of September, so around September 21st. So it'd be really great to also be on the shoulder season of Spain because of course the peak season is like, end of June, July, August. So it'd be really great to send your clients there at the end of spring or like early fall. So then the Basque region, the beautiful, beautiful region that contains San Sebastian and Bilbao and beautiful nature and scenery. So here I would like to highlight the San Fermin Festival, which you guys have probably heard of it or seen it. It is the running of bulls. So this is held in Pamplona. So this is their patron saint festival. And when I was looking at the history of the running of the bulls, this was actually just a easy and fast way to originally get the bulls to the ring in the center of the city. And then it turned into people running and it turned into a massive, massive spectacle to see. But there is a lot more to see throughout this festival. So there are huge parades. On the top right, you can see here, this is what I mean by those paper mache puppets. So these are really traditional Spanish facets of a festival. There's some random things that are Basque sports. There's wood chopping contests. There's a lot of different random Basque sports that I love to see. And then, of course, there's fireworks and parades. So this happens every year from July 6th to the 14th. And if your clients are interested to see the running of the bulls, but there are thousands upon thousands of people going to see this, you can actually rent a balcony to be above the bull running. So if your clients want to book a balcony, they didn't seem that too outrageously priced. You can choose your level of balcony you would like to book. I have the link here. I can send that in my follow-up email if you guys want to look at it. But I thought that'd be an interesting alternative for your clients to have a more secluded experience to see the chaos. And then down here, there's a Semana Grande. So this is in San Sebastian and Bilbao. So this is the Grand Week for these cities. So it's the biggest annual festival in the Basque region. So here is something that I loved when I was researching this. Here is Bilbao's mascot. It's this funky looking lady. She is a paper mache. Her name is Maria, I believe. But she starts and closes this festival, and she's widely celebrated in Bilbao. So she is their big party symbol. She looks like a lot of fun. So, of course, there is an international fireworks contest that happens during this festival. And then there are food competitions and free live concerts. And then this happens every year mid-August. It aligns with Assumption Day, which is August 15th. Okay, so how would I recommend to use Daytrip? So maybe your clients are probably flying into Madrid, the big hub, and then they can take a Daytrip transfer to go to Bilbao. So to enhance this along the way, you can add a 2-hour suggested stop in the city of Burgos. This is the castle-filled city. It literally has like 5 or 6 castles in one city. It looks really interesting. So your clients can be picked up wherever they want in Madrid. And then along the way, they get to stretch their legs and see something else, see a whole new city along the way, and then continue on to Bilbao in the north. Okay, and then to wrap up my Spain content, here are some truly upcoming events in Spain that are happening. So if you guys have seen about it, there will be a total solar eclipse happening at the end of the summer. So on August 12th, throughout northern Spain, where you can see in this red band, all of this region will actually experience full totality of a solar eclipse. When I was looking at it, it's only for actually about a minute and a half, but it's, the fanfare leading up to it, and it is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So it's really great. You can see this in the Basque region. You can see this in different regions all throughout, like the Northeast, kind of. But it's really great to have a clear view of the sunset I saw, and then have the proper glasses to see it. And then also in the fall, the first Spanish Grand Prix in Madrid is actually happening. So here's a picture of a mock-up of what it's going to look like. This is September 11th to the 13th. So if you guys have any F1 fans, this is really notable. And then an example of how you could use Daytrip if your clients are spending their holiday in Madrid. We have a whole page of solar eclipse day trips. So if this one doesn't speak to your clients, I'm sure we have another one who does. So basically, our day trip would pick your clients up in Madrid, then take them to Segovia. So this is a very Romanesque city. So there's a lot of Roman architecture. And then they could see the eclipse totality. It'll happen around 8:30 p.m. on August 12th. So you could line up the time of pickup and the duration of their day trip to line up with the solar eclipse, and then they get returned to Madrid at the end of the day. Okay, so I'm going to move on to our website for our booking tutorial. I saw a lot was happening in the chats. I hope you guys enjoyed our Spanish content. Now I'm going to move over to our Daytrip website. Okay, here we are at our Daytrip website. So the first and most important step will be for me to log out, and then for you guys to first sign in. So the first and most important thing is to press sign in on the top right of our Daytrip website. So you press sign in and then choose I am a travel agent. Next, you go through, enter your information, and press login. And next, welcome to our travel agent portal. So this is a landing page for you guys to be able to do everything you need with Daytrip in one place. So you can book all of our services. You can book our transfers, our hourly driver, and our day trips using our booking bar right here at the top. And I'll go through and give you a little bit of a tour. We have where you'll see, I'll explain this later, our reserved bookings. And then you can go through, see inspiration content, and then really essential for you guys is our links to our customer support team. So there's the email, our chat, and our phone numbers for anything you might need. But let's go ahead and get started by showing you guys how to book a classic day trip transfer. So I didn't talk about it much, but let's imagine our clients are in the south. They're having a fabulous Spanish beach holiday. Maybe they're in Sevilla and they need to go to Cadiz. So let's book a transfer from Sevilla. So we start with our starting city. We enter our second city. And then we enter our departure date. And then our departure time we can edit. Let's go a little bit later. There we go. So here you can see we're going from Sevilla to Cadiz on Tuesday, September 15th at 11 o'clock a.m. And then next, it's really important to make sure the number of adults and children are correct. So for this, let's go with 2 adults and 1 child. So a major benefit of booking with Daytrip is the fact that we offer the ability to add on a child seat at no extra cost. So here you mark that you have a child in this booking, and then later in our booking flow, it will prompt you to add in the kind of child seat that your clients will need. So the Daytrip driver will have this pre-prepared for you, so your clients don't need to worry about it, and there's no extra costs. So all of the passengers get 1 large checked bag and then 1 large carry-on. But if they travel heavy or if they have some big bags with them, you can actually add on extra sets of bags. And then it might actually just upgrade you to a bigger vehicle if needed. But this is good for my clients. So for this booking, we'll just go for 2 adults and 1 child. So you can see our information in our booking bar, and then you press search. Okay, fabulous. So here you can see our suggested duration and then the price of the transport. You can see I have a standard commission here, and my commission is shown here, and then it will change along with anything you add on during the booking. And then you can see here also highlighted is our free cancellation policy. So we offer free cancellation up to 24 hours before departure. So for this, I'll go ahead with our sedan, and now we go to next add stops. Okay, so you can see here, this is what our Daytrip booking looks like. So then this is the next stop in our booking flow, and you can scroll through and see the suggested stops for your clients to experience along the way. So here you can see this one looks really interesting. This is like a cliffside town. It looks very Greece vibes, looks interesting. So here you can see you can actually edit the duration of the stop that is suggested. So it's suggested for 2 hours, but maybe your clients don't want that long, so we can do an hour and a half. It also decreases the price. Or if we want more than 2 hours, we can go longer. Let's do 2.5. And then we press add to our itinerary, and it will update our itinerary over here on the right. So I'm just going to add 1 stop for this route, but you can add as many as you'd like to give your clients a really curated experience. Then let's go next to checkout. So here you can see that my travel agent information is already uploaded, so I don't need to worry about entering that again. So next you enter your lead traveler's information. So your client's information, first and last name, and then their phone number. So I did mention earlier it is optional to add their email. Here you can read what will be sent to them if you do choose to add your client's email. It will be important trip reminders, or if there are any changes that happen, like a driver or vehicle update, they will receive that, but they will never receive any pricing or commission details. So next we scroll through, see our select child seat, and then we go through and maybe I'll go for a booster seat with a high back. And then our next box to fill in is our I have special requirements box. So this is really great because you can write a direct note to our customer support team for anything you might need Daytrip to be aware of for this booking. So for example, we are accommodating to mobility needs. So if your client has a wheelchair or any mobility aids, you can add that here. And we do also accommodate traveling with pets. So if your clients want to travel with their dog or their cat, you can just write it here and our Daytrip team will make sure everything is all good for this booking. So let's go with my clients have a dog. Submit. Okay, so our note is there. And then next we add our pickup and drop off locations. But something actually for our travel agents, you can add or change these up to 24 hours before departure. So let's say that you're booking this trip for your clients well in advance and you don't know the exact addresses you want your clients to be picked up at. Perfectly fine. You can still book this. It's just essential you add them up to 24 hours before departure. But you can see here, you could really type in any address, or you can even set the location on a map if you want to choose something super specific, because we are integrated with Google Maps. So you can scroll through here. Maybe they want to be at this bar. There we go. So here you can see it is truly a specific address, and then you just press confirm. And then you would do the same for your drop-off address. And then it'll suggest a upgrade if you would like. And then we go through and then we can just see our itinerary box stays here the whole time. And we can see all of our details. And then we go through to our payment. And this is our final stop in our booking flow. So here you can see we have two options of payment here at Daytrip. So our first is a standard payment option. This is pay now. So here you go through, enter your client's credit card information, you scroll down and press book now, and it is booked and confirmed immediately. Your clients are good to go. But we actually have another option exclusively for our travel agents. So we have an option for reserve now and pay later. So this creates a reserved booking. So basically, a reserved booking is a hold booking. So if you see here, you click reserve now, pay later, and you don't need to input any card information right now. So basically, this holds it so you can go and talk with your clients to make sure that they approve of everything in this. If you want to make sure that the timing looks right, if they want the stops, if you want to make sure that just, the vehicle kind is good, this saves all of the information you inputted, all of the times, all of the destinations for this booking. Then you can go back in your travel agent portal and actually edit this reserved booking. So here you can see, I'm just going to go through and press reserve now. And then now you can see that my reserved booking was created. So if you go here to go to my portal, this takes you back to your home page. And then to see all of your reserved bookings, you go over to the left of our portal. If you see here, we have a left bar where it has home, my bookings, and my commission. You can then click on my bookings and it'll show you all of your reserved bookings. So here you can see I have a couple in here, but here's the one I just created in Spain. So then you could go through, edit it at stops after the fact if you forget to do it or you want to change it. Then you can go through and confirm it with payment. And then all of our reserved bookings, if they are not paid 48 hours before the departure time, they're automatically canceled. So this is reassurance for you guys. If you forget about a reserved booking, we won't charge you or anything. And this also gives you flexibility. So I will go back to our travel agent portal and I'll show you what to book with our hourly driver. So let's imagine our clients are in Madrid and maybe this is, I don't know, their last day in Madrid or their first day in Madrid and they want to see a lot. They want to get a lot out of it. But for example, right now with this heat wave, buses and trains and the metro don't really have air conditioning. It is quite hot. So your clients, if you want to, do a quick fix, you could book them the hourly drivers so they get to experience, the luxurious AC of our cars and not have to worry about too much of the heat. So here we can go. Let's do an hourly driver in Madrid. Let's choose a duration. You can book this anywhere from 2 to 8 to 14 hours. Let's do 6 hours. Then we edit the date and time the exact same way. There we go. And then let's make this just 2 adults and press search. So here you can see we even have the option of a luxury sedan. So it has our price quote and then the amount of distance that's included. So for every hour booked of private driver, you get 20 kilometers included. So that basically just means that they get 20 kilometers of distance because this is meant to be used within one city, not as a transfer service. So in all of the 6 hours, they could then travel 120 kilometers total. All right. And then our last service that I will show you is our day trips. So I would love to highlight doing a day trip from Barcelona. So I was talking about getting out of the city of Barcelona to experience some more. So if we press search, then it'll show you all of our suggested day trips that our day trip team has created. These all look beautiful. I'm really, really leaning towards something with water. So let's look here, this second one right here, but there are so many more. So you can scroll through. Let's look at this one. So you click in, you can look at some pictures. You can then see some essential information. So it's a private ride with a local driver. It is 9 hours and it's a 9 hours and it's a round trip service with our private driver. So then you go through and you can read descriptions of what is included in all of our day trip services. And then you can actually go through, see more details of why your clients should go there, what they should try. And then you can actually see the route, what it looks like on Google Maps. So you can see what the route actually looks like. And then you would go through and then just press book now, or maybe let's edit it. So let's maybe do 1 passenger. And let's press book now. There you go. And then you'd go through the exact same booking flow. Okay, so I feel like there has been a lot happening in the chat. I will go back to my presentation to see what is up. Okay,
Yes. Very
cool.
active chat. Very
Very active
active
chat.
chat over here. Yes. I was in the
Perfect.
middle of writing a very long response, and so it actually might be better if
Perfect.
you're ready for the Q&A. We can just go
Let's do
to
it.
that.
Take it
Okay,
away.
perfect. So a lot of the questions were pretty easy to answer here, but I'm going to go ahead
Cool.
with the one that I was sort of like mid-response to, which is
Cool.
what is the difference between a sedan and a luxury sedan?
You can go ahead and take it away, Emma.
Okay, so the main difference is that the manufacturing date of the vehicle for a luxury vehicle or a luxury service is 5 years. So the vehicle cannot have been manufactured more than 5 years ago. If it's our regular service for day trip, just the basic sedan, not sedan light, but just the regular sedan, then that's going to be 10 years. And so that's one of the differences. The other difference is that the driver is going to come suited up and dressed professionally. Our other drivers aren't going to be like shirtless and crazy, but like they're not going to be necessarily wearing a full suit. So if your clients are expecting a full suit, definitely check out our luxury service. It's available all across Europe and in select countries beyond Europe as well. Nice, gotta laugh. Okay, and then let's see. There's some other nice questions going on here. Also, this is just something I wanted to point out that was amazing. Someone made a comment that they had been to the bar that you like used in the booking
What?
tutorial. Yeah. They were like, I've been there, I recommend, which is amazing. Like, what a
Wait.
small world, which
Oh,
is
that's
so fun.
amazing.
Yeah, so that was great.
Fantastic.
Then another question is about the stops. So someone was asking what happens if a client schedules like a stop, like if they have a sightseeing stop break and then they're done early, is the driver going to be available like at their disposal or do they have to wait for the scheduled pickup time? I already answered it, but I think maybe this is kind of helpful for everybody to know that in the case that your clients are ready to leave early, the driver is there for them at their disposal. They can just call and be like, hey, we're ready to go. Early is definitely not a problem. Like if they're done doing their thing, they've seen what they want to see and they want to go, that's definitely not a problem. They'll have the driver's information so they can just call. If they want to stay longer, then that's where we ask that you talk to the driver. The driver will talk to our support team, and that's how we'll be able to figure out if it's feasible, just based on their availability. But if it's shorter, definitely just give the driver a call. They all speak English, as Sarah mentioned, so they will be happy to coordinate with your clients and just give them the best experience possible. Um, Another question just came in. Are drivers on WhatsApp? Yeah, they definitely are. So that's the best way to communicate. Then you won't get any sort of crazy charges on your phone plan. So definitely have your clients download WhatsApp. And I'm sure many of you already have WhatsApp. So when you want to communicate with us or the drivers, everybody's on WhatsApp, and that's definitely the best way to communicate. Let's see some other questions here. Deborah was asking, how long will the driver wait for clients getting off of ships? I don't know if you want to answer that one, Sarah.
Yeah, I can. So basically, any pickups that are happening at destinations that are out of your client's control. So basically, that means flights, so an airport or a train station or a cruise port. There is a free 60-minute buffer because we understand things happen. So there is a free 60-minute buffer. But for flights, for example, we do flight tracking. So if we see that there's a delay happening, our day trip standard is that we really just try and have a driver. If it's a really extensive delay, it might be a different driver than originally available, but we always try and have a solution for our clients. So basically, a pre-included 60 minutes.
Awesome. Thank you. And
Mhm.
then I think there's a couple more questions that we can answer here. So someone was asking about the app, and I think this is always a really good thing to talk about because right now our day trip app is not available for travel agents. So the best way to book is exactly what Sarah just showed you. You can also find all of your trips there. You can manage everything super easily there. Hopefully one day we'll have it available to travel agents, but for now, our beautiful travel agent portal is definitely the best way to go ahead and book your trips for your clients or yourself. And then the final question, I haven't read this one yet, which is always like, whoa, okay, let's hope there's nothing crazy here. Can we adjust the time at those pre-selected stops the same as we can during a point-to-point transfer? On a round trip transfer, yes. So all of our services are super flexible, super customizable. So if there's a sightseeing stop and you want to adjust the timing, you can either do it directly in the booking flow, like Sarah showed you, or if you're doing something very customizable and you're using our custom route form, you can always indicate what timing you need on those stops and we can accommodate. It's just like truly what your clients need and what's best for them, we can definitely accommodate. And then one other question was just asked, which is the luxury option available for MPVs, which is a very good question. And the answer is that right now our luxury service is just sedans. If you do book an MPV or a van, you may get a luxury vehicle, but to make sure you have like the guaranteed luxury vehicle, it's going to be our luxury sedan service for now. Hopefully we'll be able to expand, but for now, just the luxury sedans. And those, I think, are most of the questions we got. I'll obviously still be here in the chat as you do your thing, Sarah. So if anything else comes in, I will answer here and I will help out.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Thank you so much. Okay, so here are some pre-planned Q&A questions to spark some ideas for any of you guys who have any other questions. But here in the middle, I would like to highlight what about last minute bookings? Here at Daytrip, we happily accommodate last minute bookings. We understand things happen, things being some train strikes. I know a lot of things are happening in Germany right now. I believe their train system was just hacked. So there was a lot of issues with all of the trains and stuff. So you can always rely on Daytrip. So if we have availability in that area, you can go through our travel agent portal, try it yourself if the transfer is like the next day or the next 2 days or something. Try it yourself, but if you're having issues, just reach out to our customer support team via email. That is always best if you have any requests of them, so we have a record of the changes. Because often, if you call our customer support team, they will ask you to send an email. That's just so we have written confirmation of all of these changes on both sides. And then I would like to highlight maybe this one. What if I can't find a certain route or a specific stop? As we talked about before, this is great for our custom route form. So truly, you can go through, customize it all yourself, edit all the durations, and add as many stops as you would like. And then lastly, do drivers give local information or suggestions? Yes, that is a pinnacle of day trip service. They are locals to that country. And we understand that a good or a bad transfer can really, really define a trip feeling and the vibe. So we really make sure that all of our drivers are vetted and have background checks so we can provide the most highest tier service for you guys to make your clients' experience great. So here is my one of my final things. So our Day Trip for Travel Agents Facebook group, I really, really encourage you guys all to join. We have often giveaways. I just did a really fantastic giveaway last month in May. And then I'm sure Emma either put the link in the chat or she'll put it now. Thank you so much, Emma. But this is great for you guys to join our community. I'm our community curator here. And I love getting to chat with you guys and seeing your day trip great experiences or any questions you guys have. So that is it for me today, guys. Thank you all so, so much for joining us. And thank you for listening along for our summer vibes in Spain. So here is my contact information. If you guys have any questions, if you're going through our booking flow, something pops up, I am here for you. So I am here at sarah.guido@daytrip.com is my email. And here is our 24/7 customer support. So if you guys have any other questions, pop them in the chat now, or you can reach out to me if something comes up later. But thank you so much for all of your attention, and I hope to see you next month.